do your eyes and ears see in front of you? They see the same world as it's always been. Yes, sometimes...
More floods, water's rising.
But you know what? Floods do come and go. And floods have been here forever. It's in the Bible. So, like, how much of that is global warming? My view would be some. There are souped up conditions that create more or blah, blah, blah. But, like, we were going apoplectic here in California for a very long time because it never rained. And then what happened this year? It fucking rained until the people here were saying, good God, would it stop raining?
Kathy Griffin went on Bill Maher's podcast, the Club Random podcast, and things got a little bit heated between Kathy Griffin and Bill Maher here on Club Random whenever they got into the climate change discussion. And now a lot of you watching are probably like, what? I know Bill Maher. I know Bill Maher thinks that climate change is real and he's big on climate change and he lives in Los Angeles and everything like that. And you'd be right. But as I always say, every once in a while, somebody goes too far sitting across from Bill Maher and Bill Maher just snaps on them. And it's crazy whenever somebody goes too far woke that Bill Maher has to shut you down and put you in your place. But Kathy Griffin had that happen to her on this episode here of Real Time with Bill Maher, where Bill Maher was forced to silence Kathy Griffin and put her in her place for going too insane, too hyperbolic when it comes to the climate change issue. Let's get into this clip here where Bill Maher shuts down his woke guest Kathy Griffin for going just way too far on the climate change and the woke talking points that she does here.
But I am being sort of humorous, but not kidding when I say I now give the planet 7 years. I used to be like 30.
Right.
Then how do you see us keeping up this pace and for how long?
It's so interesting you put it that way because it sounds to me like what they've always said since I've lived out here about earthquakes.
Right.
Which is like, oh, the big one is coming.
The fault.
The fault. And the big one is coming.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
But climate change is not the big one.
No, I'm talking about an earthquake.
Yeah.
I'm just making an analogy because I thought it was interesting the way you put it. And I have had that feeling since I moved here about the earthquakes, which is, okay, you keep saying we're due, and then we're really due. And in the last 10 years, going back almost 10 years, I remember people saying, maybe not in so many words, but letting the people who kind of could read between the lines know, this is going to come in the next 10 years. And now we're almost up to that 10-year point when I heard that.
Yeah.
So, like, it's the same thing with global warming and the destruction of the planet environmentally. Is it going to happen? Yes, I believe it is too. 7 years? Probably not, but possibly. Like, we're spinning the wheel on it. It could be 7, or it could be 70, or it could be never because they figure out how to fucking foil it.
Yeah.
Or maybe they were, I mean, look, they're not always right about, I wish they would stop predicting environmental repercussions because they've done it a lot and it hasn't happened. Like in
Bill Maher, he always tries to be non-confrontational with these leftists like Kathy Griffin. Like, you can tell he's saying, I wish they would stop making predictions, as if Kathy Griffin didn't just sit across from Bill Maher and say, I give the planet 7 years. Until what? Until it blows up? Until it self-destructs? Like, what do you think is going to happen after 7 years? I would love to hear that line of thought continued, because I would just love to hear what's going to happen to the planet in 7 years in Kathy Griffin's brain. But then Bill Maher, you know, I think, and let me know in the comments what you think, why you think he does this. He always tries to be non-confrontational at first when it comes to these woke people. I think it's because he doesn't want to completely lose his woke audience, because he understands that a lot of people that watch Bill Maher on a daily basis and on all of these episodes here are people who are woke, who agree a lot with Kathy Griffin, who are climate change crazies or jab crazies. You know, they really like all of that stuff. They like the authoritarianism. They like those things. So he doesn't want to go too hard on it. So he's doing indirect, like, I wish they would stop making environmental predictions. Like I said, as if Kathy Griffin didn't just say to Bill Maher's face, she gives the planet 7 years. I would just love to know, 7 years before what happens exactly? What is going to happen in 7 years? I'm on the edge of my seat.
2003, James Hansen, the NASA guy, was like, if we don't completely reverse what we're doing in 10 years, it's too late. Well, it's like 13 years past that deadline, and they're still saying it's not too late, because you can't ever say it's too late.
Yeah.
It possibly is too late. We possibly already cast the dice. But we don't know. So 7 years, I wouldn't take that bet, but it should be on the table.
Yeah.
That's so.
Now, as you travel the country, you are like, I remember it's been so long since I toured America, 6 years. I'm sorry, 5 years. But I remember, like, I think it was an Indiana gig I would play once a year, and I'd pass the one barn with the Confederate flag on the roof. That was one place. And I could always open with that story. Oh, you guys still let that guy live here? I've been,
Right.
you know. So what do you make of the MAGAs that live in the areas maybe most impacted by climate change? And they are still in their denial, and why? When you're a farmer, when your job depends on the weather.
Well, first of all, they're not all in denial. I mean, there is plenty of farmers who are on that page. I mean, they're not idiots necessarily. But the other reasons why I think people are sort of in the dark about global warming, sometimes if they're in their own news silos, it doesn't get on their radar. They don't report it on Fox.
I need somebody in the comments to tell me, because I don't want to make these bold claims without knowing for sure. I don't actually know 100%. The thing is, I know that I, as a singular person, even if humans can affect the climate and can negatively affect the earth, and like Kathy Griffin thinks the earth has 7 years left before it spontaneously combusts or whatever she thinks is going to happen. If I can affect, like, even if we as humans can affect it, me as a person, I'm not going to do much to be able to slow that down or stop it or speed it up or whatever, right? It's probably just going to happen. No matter how much you complain and cry about it, it's just going to happen, okay? We're just humans, and I guess if we can negatively affect it, I guess we're just going to, okay? But I need somebody in the comments to tell me, is there any piece of evidence, scientific evidence ever, that proves that humans are responsible for climate change? Because I think that, climate change is real, right? Like the world's climate does change. I think I read recently that like Tornado Alley has shifted south, so things change, right? The winters are, I live in the South. We got a total blizzard a couple months ago or a month or so ago. Like a lot of snow. I've never seen that much snow combined in my entire life. So there's no doubt that things are changing. But is there any piece of scientific evidence that proves what Bill Maher and Kathy Griffin think, that humans are causing the change? Or is this just a natural thing that just happens? Because climate has always changed. I learned that in preschool, that climate has always changed across the history of human existence. And before humans even existed, the climate is ever changing.
Fox News.
Yeah.
It's just not an issue. It's not like an issue they disagree with. It just really doesn't exist, except to sometimes have debunkers on. And there are reasonable people like Bjorn Lornberg, who is, somebody I think maybe MSNBC won't have him on. And he's not a crazy person, but he has a different view of what's going on with the climate. He doesn't deny that this is happening. He's being just more measured about it. I don't agree with everything he says, but I listen to him and he's not crazy. That kind of person, we don't allow that kind of person.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Anymore. You have to be all in on what your team is doing.
Yeah.
So on Fox News, they don't hear about global warming.
Yeah.
And then they also are religious. I remember the Oklahoma Senator Jim Imhoff once said, he's the guy who brought a snowball into Congress once to prove that global warming was false, that you can't write this shit.
Yeah.
And he said his idea about global warming was, yeah, God's still up there. Okay, you can't argue with God still up there.
Yeah.
It's just not on it. You're playing tennis and I'm playing soccer on a different field.
Right.
And so it's just not, and it's,
But that's what I wonder how, I don't mean any farmers in those regions. I mean, if you're a MAGA person and you're a farmer, how do you reconcile what your eyes and ears see in front of you and what your...
Okay, but what do your eyes and ears see in front of you? They see the same world as it's always been. Yes, sometimes...
More floods, water's rising.
But you know what? Floods do come and go. And floods have been here forever. It's in the Bible. So, like, how much of that is global warming? My view would be some. There are souped up conditions that create more or blah, blah, blah. But, like, we were going apoplectic here in California for a very long time because it never rained. And then what happened this year? It fucking rained until the people here were saying, good God, would it stop raining?
Right.
And in one, like, month-long period, we kind of got out of the drought emergency. The
No, because
rivers
we don't have the ability to capture it.
No, that would make it better, but we
That's not. I think that's not nothing to do with the climate, though. That's that's nothing to do with the climate of the Earth. That's what Bill Maher is describing is climate change, is natural climate change. At least what I think, what I view as natural climate change, right? Like there's going to be, the rain's going to come and go, and the earthquakes are going to come and go, and the tornadoes are going to come and go. The tornado alley is going to move, things like that, right? Like I'm talking about. I would love to know if there's any actual scientific evidence that proves that humans affect this change. Like, are humans making it rain in California and not? Humans might be able to affect the ability, like Kathy Griffin's saying, to capture the water. But in terms of the actual climate of the Earth, I think Bill Maher is pretty spot on right here, to be honest with you.
I read we like the reservoirs have water in them. Then the LA River is actually a river again. I mean, what I'm saying is, it's partly cyclical, and this shit has always gone on, and that's what a farmer sees. And there is an element of global warming changing things. But since it's basically the same shit, the sun comes out, it's not like the seasons have ended. It rains, it doesn't rain, there's good, there's bad. This is farmer's life, is like, oh, I hope it rains this year. Oh, I hope it's a good harvest. This is one reason they started religion. Mm-hmm. So you could pray to somebody and say, for fuck's sake, would you make the corn grow? Because we got to make soda.
Right.
Oh, wait, we don't make soda yet. We're ancient people.
But still, that's a reason to have a deity, to pray for crops.
Exactly.
And by the way, I was shocked. Well, I shouldn't say even I'm a Chicagoan. I didn't know how much of the hate that was coming toward me was also made lots of Jesus tie-ins. Like,
yeah, I don't know if religion, I mean, I guess maybe some religions were created, like ancient religions were created to pray for crop growth and things like that. But I think Christianity was probably created not for that reason, but maybe because there was a human that came to Earth, you know, did a bunch of miracles, healed a bunch of people, then he died and came back to life. And then they were probably like, oh, I guess, you know, there might be something might be going on here. Maybe I should actually believe in this guy. That's probably why I think Christianity was started. But yeah, I could be wrong. Anyway, leave it in the comments you guys think about Bill Maher shutting down Kathy Griffin for just going way too unhinged on the climate change issue. And you could tell he wants to do it. He wants to get heated at her, but he just doesn't want to lose his fan base, I think, is what's going on. And you can see it's like it's coming out, it's like bubbling up, and he calms himself down. And you can tell he just wants to say, shut up. You sound like an absolute idiot. Anyway, let me know in the comments you guys think about this whole Bill Maher versus Kathy Griffin here on the Club Random Podcast.